Yo, what do you do?
Oh, hello guys! I was just taking some notes here on my blank page. So, congratulations, you bought your first BMW. So what do you have to do? What are the first steps to take after buying a BMW? So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna go step by step through a list of everything you have to do to keep your car running forever. Maybe forever. Depending on how you treat it. But first, where are you gonna store your car? And how dirty is the environment gonna be? Just like a cook or a chef, you gotta keep your workplace clean. So that's what we're gonna do, because it's pretty dirty right now.
Ay.
Yeah. Oh, hello there. Welcome back. So, now that we've cleaned our workplace, we can get back to making our checklist and make sure everything is in order. Let's get to it. So the very first thing we're gonna take care of is maintenance. A proper maintenance means you're gonna have a long-lasting car. The first thing to do when you buy your brand new BMW or your old BMW is to do the oil changes. Now, BMW recommends that you change your oil every 10,000 miles, and I agree. This is what I would say if I was a fucking idiot. This is a goddamn race car. This is not your Honda Civic. If you want this engine to last, you're gonna want to do your oil changes every 5,000 kilometers. And you have to put good oil in it. Do not put Castrol. Castrol is very shit and it will stain your engine.
Actually, Castrol is recommended by BMW, as mentioned here. What do you have to say about that?
What I have to say about that is you're a soy boy. You drink soy and you go do your cuckoldry or something. I don't know. You know the hotel chairs that are in the corner?
Yes.
Yeah, you go sit on that, little bitch. Anyways, if you want to see us do an oil change, you can check the previous video. It was very interesting, a very funny video. Which brings me to spark plugs. Spark plugs should be changed around 100k kilometers, depending on how you beat on your car and depending what kind of spark plugs you use. In this car right here, we put NGK premium spark plugs, 4-pronged, because BMW makes those and they're better, they're longer lasting, and it gives us a better idle. Also, the mileage is very good on them. I mean, as in average fuel mileage. Anyways, moving on to very small parts that you have to do before driving in your car and pushing your car, which are very small things that I'm gonna speed through so I don't waste your time. Things like your air filters.
That's cabin air filter.
Well, it's still an air filter.
But it's for the cabin.
Whatever. Your coolant, oil transmission, which by the way, BMW says it's a forever oil, which I don't trust. Change your transmission oil, especially if you don't want a blown out gearbox, especially in the automatics. The automatics, which I call the clunkomatics, are not as good as the manual ones. The manual ones, yeah, I'm pretty sure they can last forever. But the automatic ones, unless you want to blow up on the highway, you should change it. Power steering fluid. Also, depending on your engines, you may have many wear items that you might want to change. In our case, we have an M62 TU, that is the technical upgrade, the superior motor to the M60. In this case, we have valve cover seals, which are almost hand in hand with BMWs. You're gonna want to change that. They're not too hard to change unless you're a complete idiot.
You can check out the video.
You can, exactly, Victor, good job. You can check out our latest video, or last video that we did, where we changed one side, which we're gonna do again because we wanna paint them. Also, Vanos solenoids. On every BMW car with Vanos, you're gonna wanna either take them out, which are right here. On our case, you wanna take them out, clean them, and if you want, you can put brand new ones. They're like $50 either on Amazon or you can just buy them on BMW. Next, for our case, is the timing chain guides. Because they have very brittle timing chain guides, you're gonna have to change them at around 150,000 kilometers. Only if you put shit oil in it. If you put really good oil in it, they're gonna last you longer, but it's still a wear item. These little wear items include, but not limited to, rod bearings, which in our case is not a problem because we don't have an M performance car. I know in the E60 and the E90, those are wear items. You're supposed to change them every 90,000 kilometers, which is specified by BMW. And people when they buy them, they don't check them, they don't do anything. And that's how they blow their car up. So, yes. Now, the hard part. This might come as a surprise to all of you, but these cars are old. And with age comes rust. That is the most devastating thing that can happen to a car. If you buy a car, make sure there's no rust on the mounting points and under the car, because it will eat away at the chassis and it will make it so you can't use the car anymore. I mean, who wants rust on their pre-E39 or E36? No, you don't. I mean, you know what they say, rust is lighter than carbon fiber. Anyways, I rest my case. For us, this is where the rust starts, but in your case, it might be somewhere else. This is just specific to us for the E39. I'm pretty sure the E36 has the same problems as the E46, but you might want to check everywhere for rust. And they also tend to rust in these spots right here. Fender lines in front and the rear, just like you see right here. This is going to be a spot that we have to change. Right under the trunk over here, if you come here, usually rust forms right here, but we don't have any in our case, so it's pretty good. But we have some right here, which is not that big of a deal. We're gonna change it. You're also gonna wanna check your door panels right around here. We don't have any rust here, which is very good. Our car is in pretty good condition when we bought it. And check all around the doors. Usually they spot rust comes over here, over here, over here, and right in front. We don't have any rust near the doors, so we're pretty lucky in that aspect. Also, one more thing to add about the rust. Usually the reason why they rust right here is because the water drain comes down from up, right over here. And if the water drain is blocked by either dirt or leaves, water will start to rot the metal from inside. So clean it, and to prevent it from rusting again. You should double check, clean it, and make sure there's nothing blocking the water drain. Also, don't forget, when you buy your car, if it stayed in a garage for very long and you start driving it, things tend to break because the car stood and it wasn't moved. So in our case, the car was in a garage for about 6 months. It didn't move. So very small things started to break. We changed them. They're not that expensive on an old car, but still they can become a money pit if you don't notice them. Especially if something in the engine breaks, like a sensor or a valve, can lead up to multiple things breaking, and you're gonna end up with a blown engine. In our case, when we bought the car, the FSU unit broke, which stopped our AC from working, which wasn't that big of a deal. It was $20 on Amazon. We bought it, placed a brand new one, and everything worked. Now, about very specific things we have to do on our car to maintain it and to make it look good. First, as I mentioned already, rust. I've already shown you the spots, but there's also rust on our rims right here, if you can see. These are not the original rims, but they came with the car. They have a bunch of rust on them, which we're gonna sand down and reapply a coat of paint. That way we can make them brand new. There's also one little thing, the weather strips right here. As you can see, they're worn out. These are not too expensive to replace. They're like 20 bucks a strip. Also, in our case, we have these thingies right here that are worn out. We're gonna change them. As you can see, it says M performance car. I have an M car, guys. Look at me. Do you have an M car? I didn't think so. Also, one important thing, if you see a wrecked car that is the exact same model as yours, you should stockpile on parts, because these BMWs, if you put a Chinese part on it, they like to break it, and they're not very useful. Also, don't buy Chinese parts, because after 10 minutes they will break. Just put original parts, stockpile on original parts, and when something breaks, change it.
Ooh, oil.
What are you doing? We're recording here.
Also, guys, take care of the tires. Don't ask me why they bald. You don't know why they're bald, right?
I know why they're bald. Wow. Look at me. I'm gonna tell you a secret. Don't do burnouts as much as you do. It's wearing out the tires. Tires are expensive, okay? Also, one more thing, suspension. Suspension is pretty important for your car, unless you want to have a hole in your trunk. You're going to want to change your struts, your springs, and most importantly, the bushings. Especially because these are older cars and the bushings dry out and they rip. And you don't want ripped bushings because they make a sound every time you drive. For us, in our case, our bushings are pretty good, but our struts are in kind of bad condition. So that's gonna be changed, so be tuned for that. The struts are gonna run you about $50 each on Rock Auto. Rock Auto, please sponsor us. And the bushings, I think you should get polyurethane ones, the blue ones. Those are a bit harder, and the handling is gonna be a little bit better. And they're gonna last longer as well. And lastly, it pains me to see people buy BMWs and not know anything about cars. You need at least minimal car knowledge to take care of this pretty BMW right here. These are performance cars and are not Honda Civics. I see so many people come at my garage with BMWs MTECs that are just busted. When did you do your oil change? I forgot. When did you do your oil change? Last year? Okay, bro, you don't deserve a BMW.
Also, one thing to mention, the plastics, seeing as it's a very old car, the plastics rot and they start breaking and they fall apart, as you can see right here. And it's a nice thing to change if you get around to it. They're not too expensive and you should do it. The headlights as well, we're gonna have to fix those. They're a bit foggy, but not too bad, but we're still gonna do it. Also, last section of the video, these are some pretty small things you can do to increase the longevity of your car. In our case right here, we have the stock thermostat goes to 115 degrees, which is very hot, which makes the seals last not as long, and the car loses a bit of performance. So that's the first thing we're gonna do in the next video. Also, on the E36s, the expansion tank explodes because it's made out of plastic, so change it for a metal one. In conclusion, it pains me to see such beautiful cars poorly maintained and destroyed by people who don't know what they're buying. And these cars are the type of cars that are gonna take care of you if you take care of them. So take care of your car, do your maintenance, and don't trust random people online who tell you, oh, BMWs are unreliable. They're as unreliable as you make them. If you don't take care of it, of course it's gonna break down every 2 miles, man. If you put good oil in it, maintain it good, change parts when they break, it's gonna last forever. I've seen these cars with almost 600,000 miles, not kilometers, miles on the dashboard, on original engines, which is crazy. Those are Honda Civic numbers on a BMW. Come on now. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. And if you watched until the end, please hit that like and subscribe button. That way you can see more videos from us. And love your car, and it's gonna love you back.
Oh. Ah, fuck, I forgot something. Ah, what are you doing? What are you doing? Is this what you mean by loving your cars?
No? What are you doing? What are you so
He's here to meet the 13-year-old!
No! She said she was 12! At least minimal... Fuck. You need at least minimal car...
Minimal.
Shut the fuck up. You need at least... Stop laughing!